Hey football fans. Gather round. It's time to talk about something that's long overdue, Mike Tomlin and his incredible, yet often overlooked, coaching career. Seriously. How has this guy not won NFL Coach of the Year yet? We need to talk about this. And today, we're diving deep into why Mike Tomlin is more than deserving of that elusive title. So grab your snacks and settle in, this is going to be a fun ride. Mike Tomlin's genius timeout, a case for Coach of the Year. Let's start with a little drama from last Sunday's game. Picture this, the Pittsburgh Steelers are up against the Baltimore Ravens, one of the toughest teams in the AFC. And with just over a minute left, the Ravens are lining up for a 2-point conversion to tie the game. The stakes couldn't be higher, first place in the AFC North is on the line. And it's crunch time. Lamar Jackson, always a threat to break open a game, is on the move, heading right, looking for that game-changing play. But wait, just as the Ravens are about to snap the ball, boom, Mike Tomlin calls a timeout. And here's where it gets good. The Ravens, now forced to reveal part of their play, have to adjust. Lamar Jackson, instead of doing his usual magic to the right, is forced to go left. What happens? The Steelers stop it cold, securing a 18-16 win and keeping their surprising 8-2 record intact. Now, let's be clear, calling a timeout isn't exactly the most glamorous of coaching moves. But in a league where we see coaches fumble the ball on game management almost every week, Tomlin's timeout is a prime example of why he's one of the smartest coaches in the league. He timed it to perfection, making the Ravens show their hand early. And, to top it off, the Ravens couldn't adjust in time to overcome the change in direction. Talk about a mic drop, right? And Tomlin? He couldn't help but throw in some humility after the win. Thankfully, we even saw some of the semblance of the schematics of what they intended to run. And obviously, particularly Mr. Jackson is a little less dangerous when he's going to his left than his right. So we're thankful for that. Classic Tomlin, cool, calm, and collected. The unbelievable consistency of Mike Tomlin. Here's where things get really interesting. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season in his career. Yes, you heard that right. The man has been the head coach of the Steelers for nearly 2 decades. And in every single one of those seasons, his team has finished .500 or better. In a league that thrives on parity, where teams go from Super Bowl contenders to basement dwellers year after year, Mike Tomlin has been a pillar of consistency. For 18 years. It's almost like clockwork at this point, and it's honestly remarkable. Now, here's the kicker, despite that insane consistency, Tomlin has never won the NFL Coach of the Year award. Ever. How is that possible? Seriously. Think about it. In a league that rewards a coach whose team surpasses expectations, Tomlin's teams are expected to win. After all, they're the Pittsburgh Steelers. But even with that heavy expectation, he's kept the team competitive year after year. If you need some perspective, just look at Tomlin's numbers. He's posted a 181-102-2 record with a win percentage of .639. That's better than legendary coaches like Bill Cowher, Joe Gibbs, and even Tom Landry. Yet, the man has only won 1 Super Bowl, and that elusive second ring has continued to slip away, which has been a sore point for some fans. But let's not ignore the fact that his playoff record stands at 8-10. Sure, it's not perfect. But let's be honest, there's no other coach in the NFL with a better resume of consistent excellence. Why Mike Tomlin deserves Coach of the Year. So, what's holding Mike Tomlin back from receiving the Coach of the Year award? Well, it's a strange and somewhat flawed award. To be honest, the title usually goes to a coach whose team exceeds preseason expectations. And let's face it, the Steelers are never supposed to be bad. They're one of the most successful franchises in NFL history. And with Tomlin at the helm, they're usually at the top of the division or fighting for a playoff spot. But this season, things are different. The Steelers, despite being under the radar, are sitting at the top of the AFC North, which, let's face it, is an absolute shocker to anyone who isn't wearing black and gold. But here's Tomlin, doing what he does best, turning what should be a questionable season into a solid campaign with a 8-2 record. With a roster that isn't exactly brimming with star power, Tomlin has worked his magic once again. Now, let's talk about another key piece in this puzzle, the Steelers' quarterback situation. As of right now, the Steelers have a quarterback situation that isn't exactly on par with the other top teams in the AFC. But despite this, Mike Tomlin has somehow managed to keep the Steelers competitive. And that, my friends, is the true testament to his coaching ability. In comparison, if you look at the top teams in the AFC this season, You'll see that they have solid quarterbacks leading the charge, but Tomlin is doing his magic with a quarterback situation that many would consider less than ideal. And yet, somehow, the Steelers find themselves in the conversation for the top playoff spots. How? Coaching. It's all coaching. Why Tomlin's Hall of Fame resume is underrated. Let's take a moment to appreciate just how incredible Mike Tomlin's career truly is. His win percentage is higher than many coaches already enshrined in the Hall of Fame. He's had a Super Bowl win, 2 AFC championships, and 7 division titles under his belt. And you know what? His legacy is still in the making. Think about it, Bill Cowher, the coach who preceded Tomlin, is in the Hall of Fame. Yet, Tomlin has already surpassed Cowher's win percentage. And he's only 52 years old. And let's not forget that Tomlin has achieved all of this without ever having a losing season. That's something to be proud of. Hell, that's something to celebrate. But there's still one thing that eludes him, an NFL Coach of the Year award. And at this point, it feels like it's more about the system than it is about Tomlin. During his time in Pittsburgh, some pretty bizarre choices for Coach of the Year have come and gone. Coaches like Mike Smith, Jason Garrett, Matt Nagy, and even Ron Rivera, twice, have snagged the award before Tomlin. How is that even possible? This season, Tomlin's case for Coach of the Year has never been stronger. His team, despite not being the most talented on paper, is leading the AFC North. They're outperforming expectations. And Tomlin's coaching is at the forefront of this success. How can we ignore that? The bottom line, Tomlin's time to shine. Here's the bottom line, Mike Tomlin deserves the NFL Coach of the Year award. In a league where coaches often get too much credit or too much blame, Tomlin has remained a constant. He's weathered the storms, delivered playoff appearances, and kept the Steelers competitive, all while managing to do it with a roster that, on paper, doesn't always scream Super Bowl contender. It's about time we give credit where credit is due. This season might just be his best coaching job yet, and it would be a shame to see him pass up on the recognition he truly deserves. If you agree that Mike Tomlin deserves to be Coach of the Year, let us know in the comments below. Do you think this could be his best season yet? Drop a like if you're a fan of Tomlin's consistency. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. And hey, share this video with your friends, especially those who might not realize just how great Tomlin is. Catch you in the next video. Stay tuned and keep enjoying football.
Mike Tomlin's success with the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 2024 season has made a strong case for him to finally win the NFL Coach of the Year award. Despite having a quarterback situation that many viewed as a liability, switching between Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, Tomlin has guided the team to an 8-2 record, a top spot in the AFC North, and a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Tomlin made a bold and initially controversial move by starting Wilson over Fields, a decision that has since paid off with a perfect 4-0 record since the change, with the offense averaging 27.3 points per game. Given that the Steelers were not expected to be playoff contenders this season, their current standing is a testament to Tomlin's ability to manage the roster, particularly the quarterback position, where many doubted Wilson could revive his career after struggles in Denver. Tomlin's long track record of success, including never having a losing season in 18 years as head coach, is remarkable, especially in a league designed for parity. His win percentage and Super Bowl victory have already secured his place in NFL history. But the Coach of the Year award would be a well-deserved recognition of his excellence this season. While the award often goes to coaches who exceed expectations with a surprising team, Tomlin's work with the Steelers this year, making them a threat despite being largely written off, deserves serious consideration.